victory, a nice 28-14 win. So, what do you have to say about your team's performance? Feel good?
Well, obviously we came out in the first half and we, our quarterback more than anything, I'll point him out. He just was really failing to, get his feet set, made a couple bad decisions, had a ball slip off his hand once or twice, and was failing to get the ball in the places that we needed him to. Everybody's capable of a bad evening like that, in which case, we kept our heads, and I want to keep my confidence in him. He's a senior captain, he's a competitor. Sometimes he overthinks a little bit, and we just needed him to settle down and just play ball. And and that's exactly what we talked to him about at halftime. And we helped with a couple adjustments to be able to run the ball up the gut on them that we knew we had. If we could establish a little bit of a passing game, which he was able to do in the second half, and the defense played their typical style of ball for 4 quarters and played extremely hard and kept us right in that ball game. And eventually, when we start clicking offensively, we're going to pull away from some teams because we can be explosive. Basically we walk away from this 4-0 and thinking to ourselves that if we can ever play 4 quarters and execute very well on both sides of the ball, we'll be a very dangerous football team. So we're hoping that's going to show its head sometime in the near future.
So yeah, you guys exploded in the second half, especially with the rushing attack. What was the big difference in the second half versus the first?
Well, Austin, we like to think, number one, we got them in a situation where we could spread it out on them a little bit, and we were able to get our guards out onto their middle backers, and that allowed us to run. We kind of were ghosting and using Devon in some different places in order to open that up for us a little bit more, we felt. I think also, we put a lot of emphasis in conditioning on our football team, and it starts clear back and right after spring break, and we really get after it conditioning wise and have a great it's a great advantage to have the head track coach as part of your football staff, and Coach Gonzi, and he does a great job of working our kids out and whatnot. And our freshman coach Brian Netter did a speed and conditioning thing all from spring break all the way until the start of season. So our kids are in pretty good shape. They're a well-conditioned football team, and we like to think that we can wear some teams out, and I think that started to show itself in the second half too.
Definitely. So yeah, Devon Sharp had a huge game, went over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did. What do you have to say about his performance? So you say more line play, more Devon himself?
It's a combination. I mean, he's got to be able to get out. You know what I mean? If he gets past that first line of defense and makes one bump, he's got such a great center of gravity and balance that when he takes a shot at the second level, if he gets away from that shot, you better just look out because he can go, and he's got a great burst once he gets out into that open field, and then he's hard to catch.
Another thing, both teams seem to be having trouble holding on to the ball a little bit. You had 9 total turnovers, I believe, 7 in the first half. QB had a little trouble throwing the ball.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Any explanation for that? You think just...
I don't really have one for you, Austin. I don't. I didn't expect to see the ball turned over that many times in the first half. I don't think any head coach really expects to see that happen. But sometimes it does, and what really matters is what you do in the face of that adversity. And our team was able to collect itself, keep its composure, and come back out and execute in the second half and get the job done.
Mitch Ryder laid some huge hits, laid out a few guys. One was right at the beginning of the third quarter, so you think that helped set the tone at all for the second half?
Sure. Our defense feeds on that kind of activity, you know what I mean? We've got a hammer award that we give out every week for the kid with the biggest hit during that week, and they get their name inscribed on a nice big gold sledgehammer. And we've been doing this tradition now this is our 3rd year of doing it, and our kids take a lot of pride in being the guy that gets to lay that smack. And so we've got kids that like to play physical football, and it's something that Athens has not always had, and we want, it's a physical game, it's a hitter's game. And Mitch Ryder, certainly when he has pops like that, can certainly get his defense all fired up, and the rest of us.
Is there anything specific you said at halftime, fire the guys up for that big second half?
I didn't have to, I was vocal, there's no doubt about it. I was vocal, but it was more vocal from the standpoint that I already knew that my team was upset with itself. I already knew that they were disappointed, and so was I. And it was just a matter of everybody keeping their heads and getting ready to pin their ears back and actually start to execute. And that's what we did.